Okay, hey everybody, we are live. Let me turn my speaker off on my computer here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the sample splatter and chatter class. So excited to be able to do this with all of you. So I hope you have fun with it. This is a great time. If you have questions while I'm painting, just jump in there and ask. If I'm going too fast for you, if I'm going too slow, whatever it may be, just chime in and let me know how you're doing. If you have questions on brush strokes that I'm doing and anything at all, that's why I'm here for you. Okay, guys, let me know when you come in if everything's okay. I don't see any comments yet, so please make a comment and say hello. Tell me who's here. Tell me who's painting tonight. So excited. Today is the very first day I am opening up the Creators Club. So this is opening day. So this is a celebration of that. So, okay, Derek's here. Hello. Hello. Michelle must be in here. Hi, Michelle. Jade's here. Oh, goodness. She loves my hair. Thank you. I got caught out in the rain. And so that's funny that you should say that. I felt like it was a hot mess, so maybe it's working for me. It gets a little fluffy. I have curly hair, so if it's wet or, you know, those of you curly girls out there, who is another curly girl, you know the issues. So it just grows big. Yay! Catherine's here. Yay! Donna's here. Karen, my buddy Karen. We'll be live Wednesday, Karen and I. Judith is here. Who's painting with me? So this is the very first class of the week that I'm doing free. I'm going to do another one on Wednesday night. And those of you that caught me on Instagram, I think I told you Thursday, and I totally lied. It's Wednesday. So tonight is Little Frida. And we're going to do this start to finish. And let me see my other painting. I'll show you that. If I can find it. It's here somewhere within reach. It's called Frida's Bouquet. And I swear I had it here, so I'll have to show it to you before we leave. But it is a matching set. Oh, here it is. I thought I had my you-know-what together. Guess I lied. Grace is here. Betsy's here. All right, I see a ton of my creators here that are from the Creators Club. So if you are here and you are a member of the Creators Club, will you please say hello and tell everybody you are a member, Creators Club member? Please put that in the comment. And that way, if anybody wants to ask you questions, they can ask you as well. There's nothing like hearing it straight from the creators themselves. So this is the matching set we're going to be working on this week. Cute, right? So tonight we're doing Frida, and Wednesday night we'll be doing the bouquet. So hello, Paula, watching and working on another project. Angela Witzel's in the house. Hello, my friend. Hello. Okay, so my friend Michelle is dropping a link. Those of you that do want to join the Creators Club, you want to get in, you want to learn how to create art. You want to learn how to create art in a way where it has your own significant voice. That is what I do. I teach people how to paint and create their own unique voice. So that is what you will learn in the Creators Club. Hello. All right. So I want to go ahead and just get started here. I want to go ahead and get this bottom coat on. So let's talk about the colors that I'm going to use. I do have a materials list. Hopefully you guys got that. So I'm going to start with a bright turquoise for my background. And the way I've got my paints laid out, I have all of my cooler colors on this plate. So I have all my blues. I have my turquoise. I have a cobalt blue. I have a bright and a darker green for the greenery in her hair. And I have a little bit of white in the middle of my plate. Okay. You can adjust your colors accordingly. and that is quite all right with me, okay? So that's what I have on my first plate. My second plate, I have my black and white on there. I also have brown for her hair, and then I have all of my warm colors. So I have a dark red, a bright red, and then I have a bright orange. That's for the flowers. And then I have a flesh color, and then I have a little bit of a coral or a soft pink that I can add into the skin color, so to warm her skin up a little bit. So those are the colors that I'm going to use. Are there any questions before we get started? Are we ready to go? The first thing I want to do is start with my bottom color, which is going to be the bright turquoise. And all you need for this is just a little bit of a wider, larger brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to grab this one. It's kind of an angled, medium angled brush. And I'm going to dip into my water and get it kind of moist. I hope I don't get this on my computer. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just paint, and it's dripping a little bit. I'm going to paint the side first. And I'm not worrying about, we're not being, it's nothing you have to be perfect about. Just get it on there. Right now I want to do a thin layer as I work onto the canvas. I'm going to have darker here, and it's going to get lighter as I go into the middle. That's the plan anyway. Hello, Lisa. Hey, thank you guys so much. Is somebody having trouble? I know there's a sad face there. Is somebody having trouble with something? Gail Weber, is there something I can help you with, Gail? Let me know if so. All the creators are saying hello. Stacy and her granddaughter Olivia are here. Hi, Olivia. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and start. We're just going to start painting. It's okay. It's dripping a little bit. And what I want to do is I want it to be lighter in the middle because I want that to dry pretty quick. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, we have fun there, don't we? So what I do is I set the Creators Club up to where there are classes like this, which are step by step where you're following along. And then I kind of wean you off of these to where you're able to start creating your own artwork. Okay? So we do all kinds of intuitive art in there, which is kind of a little bit abstract. I'm adding water as I'm blending this, you guys. If this is too difficult to do, then just put a layer on there. And then we'll need this to dry for us. As we go on to the next part. Thanks, Michelle. And Christine, everybody's just talking about it. Yeah, we do have a lot of fun in there. Okay, guys, so if each of you, we have about 45 people in here right now. If every single one of you would take 1 second while you're letting this dry. So I've got it all blended out, and now I'm just kind of like pulling it one way and then the other way, thinning it out. Now, those of you that are in the group, you guys know I use a hair dryer an awful lot to dry when I get to this point right here, but I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want it to be real noisy and annoying. Gail, It's your first time? I'm so happy you're here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. You're going to have fun. So I'm just going to dry this with my plate the old-fashioned way, and then we can say we exercised today too, right? Does that count for exercising? I'm going to say it does. So if you look a little bit closer, this is about how it's blended. Now, you know, if you want it darker, you can do it darker. It's all up to you. I encourage you to make it your own. I'm all about you following your own nudge. When you get that little nudge to do something, I'm all about that. So if each one of you would hit the SHARE button and sprinkle the love out for me once you get this coat on, that helps me grow. And I am so thankful because that is the way little businesses are surviving right now during the quarantine. So it's been really helpful to be able to be online and meet people. The color that I actually used right here is from the DIY paint company, and it's called Old 57, and I use that quite a bit. But in the group, I just tell people to use whatever they have access to. And I'll just basically tell you the colors that I'm using, and you are able to use whatever brand you like. I normally use the DIY paint brand, which is a clay-based paint, and then I also use acrylics. Most often they are from either Golden or they are from just Master's Touch or something like that. But the best paint for you to use is the paint that you can get your hands on and that you have access to. That's the best paint to use. The most important thing I always say is that you are painting, okay? When you are dormant and you're not painting, then you're not growing as an artist. So my goal is to keep pushing you, no matter what your situation is. If you're financially, if you're not able to get certain brands, my focus is that no matter what, that you keep creating and you keep putting your hands in motion and you keep going forward. Don't let it stop you that if you can't afford a certain brush or you can't afford a certain paint. That doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. Okay. So I feel like we're pretty good. Yay, sprinkled. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Let's see. Karen, yeah, it counts. It counts for arm exercises. Hello, Amy Luby. How are you? I'm reading my messages over here. Not painting? Awesome. Well, you know what? This will be here for at least a week, so all of you can paint this later if you're just hanging out watching tonight, okay? So that would be great. All right, let's go ahead and let's just see if we can. I've got a piece of chalk. I'm not sure if y'all will be able to see it. So I'm just going to kind of put a mark on here and I'll hold it up. So let me just kind of walk you through what I'm going to do. So if you kind of space it out, you want to leave a little space above the flowers, right? So there's like a quarter here, a quarter here, a quarter, right? That's about how I space it out. Or you can kind of just keep that in mind when you put her face in. You want to make sure that you've got room for her neck, and when you put her face in, you have room for her hair, room for her flowers, right? So that's the first thing that I want to tell you. So also the first shape that we're going to kind of think about is the shape of her face. And if you notice, we could almost make a little bit of a heart here if we wanted, or almost like a soft triangular shape, right? So you can kind of see the triangle shape there, but we want it more rounded. So that's kind of what we're going to start with. And I want to make sure that I have a good quarter here that we are able to, do the flowers up above. And then as you come over, you're going to make your line. And as you come over, you want to make sure that you have enough left on the sides. Okay, so let's leave a little bit here. And let's kind of put the shape of her little face in here. So can you see that? Give or take. Now this is just chalk. You could do this with pencil, anything like that, and it would just, yeah, it's like an egg, big side up, correct. So that's basically what we're doing. And I think, and I want to change, if I want to change something, I can do it. I want her little chin. I like little kind of dainty, pointy chins. So I'm going to make it a little daintier. So that's about how her face is going to be. And then her neck will come down about like this. So that's about how her neck will be. We're not going to overthink this part. We're going to start coloring it in. Okay. So you got your basic shape in there, like an egg, as Karen said, or almost like a softened triangular shape. And now we're going to start putting in the fleshy tone. And the flesh tone that I've used is called, hi Mom, I think my mom's talking about their dinner here. Mom, I'll call you later. I'll call you later, Mom. Okay, so I have Milky White is the name of this. This is from Master's Touch, and it's a real fleshy kind of a color. And let me just, you guys don't get hung up on brushes that you're using. I think I want a larger one. Let's see. Don't get hung up on your brushes. I'm gonna just use this one. So this one has a, you're okay, Mom. This has kind of a rounded look. Hi, Mom. Everybody say hi to my mama on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start painting this in. We want it kind of thick because we want it to cover some of the blue, right? Everybody's saying, hi, Mama. All right. So just put it in there. Don't overthink it up here because this is where your flowers are going to be. Are y'all able to see it okay, or is it distorted? It seems like maybe. Is that better? There, that's better, isn't it? I think my light was distorting it a little bit too much. All right, let's keep going. So you guys, the Splatter-N-Chatter classes are, this is not all that you will learn inside the Creators Club, okay? This is just a beginner's class. This is something for people when they come in, they have a place to, if you have never painted before, they have a place to kind of learn the basics. So it's step by step and you just follow along. It also, I think it allows you to gain confidence if you are somebody that hasn't painted in a while or has never painted, or maybe you haven't painted since you were a young child. I have a lot of people that are in that haven't painted since they were young, and they're a little bit intimidated. So these are designed to give you confidence and strength. And I always say it gives you a win. I want to give you a win under your belt, because until you get a win under your belt and until you feel confident in yourself, you're not going to know that you can create art, right? It's better. Yeah, it is a little bit better, isn't it? I'm wondering if it should. See. I think as I. There we go. I'm thinking as I go with the layers on here, it'll keep getting better. So that's my first layer, was just this skin tone. Now I'm going to dab just a little bit of this really light kind of fleshy pink color into it, and I'm going to start painting that on now. Actually, I need to get more of my skin tone color. You don't want it real pinky, but flesh color has a little bit of warmth to it. So I very rarely paint skin color directly out of a bottle, because it's not normally the color that I want. Not that that's wrong, but when your brush starts to drag on you, that means you just need to add a little bit of water. And these are all kind of just single layers of painting. We're not doing shading, and we're not doing stuff like that on the skin. We're just doing very, very basic shapes, okay? So that is our first step on our little Frida face. And that needs to dry. How's everybody doing? You getting along okay? And like I said, normally in the Creators Club, I will use a hair dryer, and that speeds things up a little bit. So if you have a hair dryer at home, you may want to pop it on. And right now I'm just trying to get up by her head dried, because we'll start putting her hair on. And we'll use really basic shapes as we put the hair on. You guys must be doing good, because you got quiet on me. You must be doing good. And that is so typical. When I do a live class here in the studio, when each step I give, especially towards the beginning, it gets really quiet. They get real quiet. So they're thinking, and they're maybe even a little nervous, so they're a little bit quiet. Olivia, you are rocking it, I hear. Good job, girl. Stacy says Olivia's doing better than me. You know, and that, how old is Olivia, Stacy? Kids often, they're not really afraid of messing up. They don't have that fear that is instilled inside them yet, like adults do. So sometimes adults get to our state in life, and they're afraid, and they hold back because somehow down the road somebody's told them that they're not that good of an artist, or for some reason they think that in their head. So they are a little more reserved, whereas kids are kind of like, wow, this is fun. Yeah, they're still in adventure state. They're still like, They're just enjoying the moment. And so that is where we need to get back to. We need to get back to where Olivia is right now and just enjoy it and have fun with it, right? Kids know they're artists. We forget as we get older, we forget that we're truly creators, right? We're born creators, and we forget that as we get older. All right, I think it's going to be dry enough. Let's give it a try. I'm going to squirt my plate. If you have your paint already on your plates, you might want to mist them down a little bit so they don't dry out on you. Mine's starting to, so I'm going to mist them a little bit. Put it aside. Okay, I'm going to use the same brush. You really could do this whole painting with 2 brushes, like one larger one for the background and then one small to medium for the rest of it, and you'll be fine. So I normally use larger brushes, but for the beginners, I think it's nice to kind of do it a little bit with the smaller brush. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add her hair, and I like to part her hair. I'm using a dark brown. It's called Layered Chocolate. And if you want to, I'm just go like this for right now. If you're too afraid to start painting like this, you could chalk it out first, or do it with you could paint it with you could sketch it with a pencil. I can't talk and paint at the same time, apparently. So I kind of went above the head and put the arch to her head. Now, even though the flowers are going to be going over top of some of this, I want to go ahead and put some of the color in for her hair. And I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to fill it in. And then right about here, I'm going to, let's see if I want to go. Let's see, I think her eyes are going to be about right here. So I'm going to put a circle about right here for her little side bun. So you're going to start off with a circle, but I don't want you to have it, it doesn't need to be a perfect circle. So you can kind of like make it a little raggedy, like a messy bun, right? We want a messy bun here. So you're going to put some little waves on that. So it's almost going to kind of resemble a flower. And then we're going to continue our hair all the way down. And we'll meet up with that. How's everybody doing? Keeping up okay? Now, if you are brand new here, if this is your first time, my name's Kelly Weiler. I don't know if I even introduced myself right at first. That was very rude of me. And you will be able to find this later on to paint if this is your first time here. And you can come back and paint. This is also over on my YouTube channel. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of stop about right there. And I'm going to just kind of put a couple little whimsical curls. So you want to pull up on your brush as you're coming out. So it kind of gives these little wispies. Okay. Now you will want to probably, that's still a little bit wet. That's a little bit wet. So let's move along and let's put in her dress that she has on. And we're going to give this a chance to dry. Okay. I'm not used to working without my hair dryer. So, oh, I love that you guys are talking to each other. That's awesome. It's hard to paint and talk, right, Karen? That's right. It's nice when you're here with me, then I have a buddy I can bounce off of. Alyssa says, yes, definitely. Okay, guys. So I'm going to grab my cobalt blue. It is Blue Iris is the color that I'm using from the DIY paint line. I'm going to wash my brush off. And then I'm going to dip right in. So, okay. So what we want to do is we want to find the middle of her, and we're going to kind of put this little V right there, and then we're going to come up. It's almost going to look like maybe when you were young and you painted bird wings. So we're going to put this little shape there. I'm going to fill it in. Don't overthink it. So I want it to go clear to the end of her shoulder. Okay, so now to make these little we're going to do puffy sleeves. I'm going to actually paint over on the side of it too. I like to paint the side of my canvas. So I'm going to paint there, but I'm going to just kind of scribble. Or scumble. So I'm just kind of wiggling my brush. So it makes this kind of puffy sleeve, right? Is everybody with me? I love that color, Blue Iris. I used it on a bench. I painted. I love it too. So over here, again, we're going to just scribble. And you guys can have fun with this. Maybe you want your sleeves to be bigger. Make them bigger if you want them bigger. I'm just going to make these little scribbles or little waves, whatever works for you. I made that one a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go over here and make this one a little bit bigger. And I'm going to bend this, and I'm going to paint this blue down here as well real quick. You don't have to. It's just something that sometimes I do, not always, but I just thought I would with this one. Love it when it all starts to come together. I do too. You know, I just want to encourage all of you and let you know, that being said, your paintings do go through a stage where you don't like it and you feel unsure, okay? So you know, just give yourself permission to get through that phase. It's kind of the ugly phase of a painting. And every painting does that. So the key to it is sticking it out and getting through that phase. Okay. All right. It looks like this is drying pretty well up here. So we can go ahead and let's start on the flowers. The first layer of flowers, I used a dark red, and it is called Marquee, and it is from the DIY company. It's called Marquee. So I'm going to use the dark red first, okay? And I'm going to go ahead, just grab, you can use whatever brush you're comfortable with. I'm just going to stick it out. I'm going to just stick out with this one. This one is called the Favorite. It's like a filbert brush is what that's called. So let me spray it down. My water is drying out. Oh, you pressed it, angry face? That's okay. Someone did earlier, and I think it was a mistake. That's okay. I just assume it's a mistake because who could be unhappy with art? When you're doing art, everybody's happy, right? There's no fighting with art, right? Okay, so I'm going to moisten my brush up a little bit because my paint is drying out. I've got a big fan right above my head, and it dries my paint out. So I'm going to smush it around. So normally when I do flowers, I like to do odd numbers. So it's like 3, 5s, or 7s. It's just a thing. It's a floral design thing. And so I just keep it at that. So that's kind of what I'm going to do here. I think I have 7 flowers over there. So that's what I'm going to do. So first things first, you can kind of just make circles right now and figure out what the placement, where you want them. And we'll do one maybe like up here. And let's do like one here. It's going to be a little more forward, and then one here. And let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do a big one here. And then there'll be maybe one there. Okay, so it looks hideous right now, guys, right? That means you're doing a good job. So I'm going to go back over it, all of these circular patterns that I made, and I'm going to mess up the circles, and I'm going to make little areas so it breaks up the look of that circle. Okay, I'm trying to come up here so you can see a little bit better. So you don't really want it to be perfect looking circles, right? So let's make it a little more imperfect looking, right? And I'm just putting in strokes here and there so they're kind of wonky looking. We want it a little bit wonky looking right now. Is that even a word, guys? Wonky. I think it is. So you see how it's completely changed the shape of that circle. Just that alone helps it to look like flowers already, just because we've changed the shape of the circle to these wonky looking shapes. Okay, that's going to be our base coat. That's what I call an underlayer. So that's our first layer of our flowers, and we're kind of just going to let that dry for a little minute. And what I like to do is I work all around the canvas. So a lot of times if you're in the Creators Club, my creators know this, I like working on large canvases because I can play more. I can work, faster because it's bigger, and I can work on different sections of the canvas. So today it's a smaller canvas, so we have to be careful that we're not mixing colors too much. All right, so right now what we can do, maybe we can just kind of line up where our eyes will be in our nose. Let's do that. And if you want to, sometimes this is the difficult part for people to do. So let's get your chalk or a pencil and let's just kind of do this together. Let's line this up together, okay? So we're going to kind of like, there's an imaginary line coming down, right? And we're going to see like the ears are about right here. They would be. So, right? So your ears, let's see, your ears, about where your nose is, right? So that's going to be about, I think that's going to be a little bit too high. We're going to make it lower. This is going to be about where our nose is. Let's do right there. And then we're going to come up, and the eyebrows are going to be about right here, give or take. This side is going back behind her hair. And then we're going to do just a little, kind of a little smile for her eyes. Can y'all see? Katie is asking, how much is the Creators Club? It is $27 a month, and you can leave anytime. There's no contract. You don't have to, like, it's not like sign up and you're bound to stay there for a year. My hope is that you get in there and you start learning and you start growing and your techniques start to get a little more refined and that you love it. I want people that are loving it and that are learning there. And so yeah, you can, if it's not what you planned on, or if life changes, because that happens, people have things that change in their life, and that's what happens. Okay, so usually this space here that's in between, so you got your eye here and your eye here, this space should be about the same distance. See, the distance here between this eye is the same. So if you measure your eyeball, this measurement right here should be about the same. So if you know those just really basic things, you can kind of make a pretty easy shape, facial shape. Okay, so down here, I'm going to do just this fun little whimsical heart for her mouth. Okay? And that's our shape. That's our basic little guidelines that we're going to go by. Are there any questions about this? Are there any, if you need help in any way, I'm glad to help you. I will tell you, inside the group, I have a little something that I do inside there where when my creators need help, they send me their pictures and I digitally can work on them, and I can speak to them, and I can also show them digitally like what I'm talking about. And I feel like, and creators that are in here, please tell me, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like that helps them a lot, because for me to tell somebody how to change something or tweak something, it's easier if, yes, I can type it out and tell them, but it's also easier to visually show them, because people that are creators, we think visually. So I feel like it helps. Yeah, Stacy, that's right. I totally forgot. They're reminding me. What I do, she's saying you can earn it back by doing Splatter-N-Chatter classes. So what I do is, if you're in my group, you get the rights. Like if you want to reteach this class in your hometown, you can reteach it and get paid for it. And I teach you how to teach this. And it pays for your membership. It pays for all your, like if you want to upgrade your art supplies. And I have quite a few that actually are selling their work and are actually doing paint parties of their own now. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities there, more than just learning art for yourself. So, okay guys, so let's go ahead and let's get started here on these eyebrows because Frida is known for her eyebrows, right? She is known for those eyebrows. And if you are scared to do the black for her eyebrows, then just do a dark brown. And then if you want to, you can change it later and darken it up. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to just slightly push down so it widens up. And I'm going to come back to the middle. And as I push out, I'm going to push my brush down as I go out. And if you see, it makes the line a little bit wider. So, and then I'm going to put a few little fringy hairs here. Okay. And then we will go ahead and let's put her eyes in. And we can tweak this a little if we need to, but that's primarily what we're doing. Let's put her little nose holes there, some little dots. And that's about all she wrote for that. Let's see. Yep. Tasha says, oh, wow, that's a unique offer. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Tasha, you know, whatever I can do to help you. I do, some of my ladies in there have businesses. And so I do a little bit of coaching with them. Not that it's a business type coaching group, but whatever my members need in there, I will give them because that's why you're paying to be in that group. If there's something that I can help you with, I've had several girls call me in a frantic and they were in, you know, like freak out mode with some business things going on. And I hopped on video call with them and I didn't charge them anything extra for that. It's just something, if it's something I can easily help them in a matter of minutes, then I will do that because, you know, I've had people help me, so I want to help them. You know, it's just that simple. Okay. Let's see. Christine says we get to request what we would love to do. Exactly. Every month we have a member's choice. And all of the ladies, I ask them every month or every so often what they would like to do, and I keep track of it, and we add that to the list. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and start on the next layer of flowers. So our next layer is this bright scarlet red. So I'm going to dip in there with my scarlet red with the same brush. And I'm going to, and I hope you guys can see this. Let me see if I can. And we're just going to make these little quick movements. Little quick, almost like parentheses or apostrophes. We're going to do these little, and you can make it pretty thick. So if you can see how thick that is, it makes it look like the petals are kind of just popping off of your brush or of your canvas. Your brush too, I guess. So just pushing down. And the key to it is that you're allowing some of that color, that bottom color, right? That real dark color is still showing through. But see, now we have the second layer on there. And it's already, even just with the two colors, it's just looking like these beautiful little whimsical flowers, right? So you can kind of play around with that a little bit. Yeah, Michelle that's in here is a great person to answer your questions for you. Michelle, thank you so much. So appreciate you. Let's see. I want to maybe while we have red on our brush, let's go in and I'm going to start with the darkest red marquee and I'm going to put her little lips in. And it's just like the shape of a heart. The bottom of the heart, you're going to make it rounded rather than pointy. If you want her mouth open, you could leave it like that, or you can fill it in. Choice is yours. But the Splatter-N-Chatter classes are fun. They're just meant for fun and easy and basic shapes. There's always basic shapes involved. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush and I'm going to dip into that soft peachy pink color. And I want to put in like a little bit of cheek color just for some whimsy. Do some circular motion here and put her little cheeks in. How are y'all doing with yours? Is yours coming along okay? Boy, it really pops once you get the little cheeks in there, huh? Starting to pop. I love Frida though. Anybody else love her? I love her life. I love the story of her life. She is a Spanish artist. And she had a lot of trauma in her life, and she's an artist, and I think she actually is a work of art herself because of the way she dressed, and she just was so before her time, and she overcame so many obstacles. And being an artist back then as a woman, she didn't know her worth, and I just feel like her life is just very inspiring, and I just kind of love her, and I'm a little bit obsessed with her. Okay, so I'm going to dip into the white now. It's starting to dry out a little bit. Spray it. What did I do with my bottle? There it is. Everything's always so close to me, but yet sometimes I can't find it. Anybody else have that trouble? Love her, says Judith. I do too. She just is such an amazing woman. Okay, I'm use a little bit of white, and I'm going to do a little bit of white. I'm going to brush just a little bit up on her forehead for some highlight, and her eyelids get a little highlight on it. And I like to do a little pinch on her cheeks. So I'm doing a little bit of white. So you want to, when you highlight, I'm putting a highlight on this side, and you want to do it over on the same side here. Same thing with her lips. If you want to do a little highlight on her lips, you're going to kind of do it on that same side. And then I'm going to just kind of put some highlight here on her nose. A little bit. See that? Oh my goodness. Okay, and then maybe on her chin. So those are places like if the light was hitting her right straight on, it would be right in the front there. Okay, and you guys can kind of play around if you want to highlight her skin down here a little bit. Feel free. So this is the highlight. Am I going too fast for everybody, or how am I doing for you? Doing okay? Okay, so I feel as though our next step, we could go ahead and let's lay in, if you noticed on the flowers, they weren't real tight. See how there's space in between those flowers? That's where we're going to throw in some green. So we strategically did that. So I'm going to trade my plate out, and I'm going to trade it out for my cooler colors. And I'm going to start with my darker green. Hello, Cumberland, Maryland. It's rain and snow. Same here, Sharon. It's been really cold and rainy. We had the kids had a half a day or 2-hour delay today. It was really rainy and cold and icy this morning, and so yeah, it's just been kind of. I was a little worried. I thought, uh-oh, I hope I can get to work to teach the class. So I'm going to use this dark green first, and then I'm going to use some lighter green, and I'm just keeping the same. I'm just going to keep the same brush. I can keep it. No way, girl. I'll share. So I'm going to try to hold this up so y'all can see. So anywhere you see there's like an open space, I'm just going to push my little brush in there. I'm going to put a line, and then I'm going to push, and I'm going to pull up. You see how that goes? That almost makes it look like a natural leaf. So I'm going to just push it in there, and I'm going to pull up. So the key to it is when you pull up, your brush gets thinner. When you push your brush down, it gets wider. So anywhere you need to fill in a little bit more, you're going to push down, and then you're going to pull up as it gets a little thinner, right? Light touch, and then I'll push down. Real soft, and then I'm going to push. Whoops, I got a little bit of red in there. That's all right. It's all good. Some of my paints are a little bit wet still. Okay, but boy, doesn't that pop. The green against that red just really, really pops. This is it's called a filbert brush as far as the overall generic shape of it. You see the shape? It's kind of rounded, just slightly rounded. So when you're making leaves, you're probably going to want something has a little bit of a roundness to it. This is the turquoise iris. This is called the Favorite, and this is from the Hobbyist line, which I don't think I might have one set left. So yeah, just bought one. Awesome. How y'all doing? Is everybody? I hope you're keeping up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to dig into this bright green. I'm not going to wait for it to dry. I'm just going to go right in, and I'm going to throw in some color right over top of the dark green. Okay? Because these are both green colors. They're not going to muddy up on you, so I'm not worried about that. And there you go. So let me show you up close. You add that bright green, and that's kind of what it looks like up close. Okay, so now we're going to back off of that for a little bit. I'm going to take my brush and rinse it off. I usually like to have 2 containers of clean water, because once it gets bad, you want to, when you're changing from one color to the next, you need to make sure it's clean so that you're not getting muddy colors. Sharon, you need one? Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's grab our black, and let's do a little bit of outlining here. Oh goodness, I forgot to put her necklace on when we had green. If you still have green, let me go back. Forgot. That's my fault. I try to keep things when I have green on my brush. I should have gone right over to the necklace. So we're going to do that first. So the necklace, it almost looks like like pearls or beads. So the thing that I like to use is the back of a brush, and I want this first bead to be big, so I'm using a fat brush because the handle's wider, and I'm going to go in with it with my dark green. I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to use the darker green first, and I'm going to put my first little dot and then go out from there. And you want to keep them kind of lined up. Another one there. Okay. So there's that. There's your first green. I'm going to rinse that off. And now I'm going to go back to my regular little brush. I'll use the back of that handle because it's smaller. And I'm going to go into with the bright green, and I'm going to just tap in with the bright green right over top of it. I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Okay, voila, there's her necklace. Okay, did you hear that? I need one. Everybody needs one. So this is what her little necklace is looking like. Okay, now let's go to the black like I was going to do. Dip into the black into our little brush, and we're going to kind of just put some really light pieces of hair. We're going to define her hair just a little bit. Define her little bun. Just kind of following that circle. Her hair was pretty dark too. These little wispies. So guys, normally in the class, my classes in the group are normally, I would say, hour and a half is probably the average. I try not to go over that too much, but if you want to make her eyebrows a little bit darker, you can do that. It's up to you. And then you can do a little, let's see, if you want to do a little mark there for her lips. Ooh, she's got some Botox on her lips, I think. Will this be available for replay? Tanya, yes, ma'am, it sure will. I will leave this up at least for a week or so, okay? So that y'all can take it. So this is what she looking like. Doesn't she look like she has some Botox? I don't know. Let's see. God, we can put a little detail while you're working on the black. You can put a little bit of detail in her sleeve. So if you want to just kind of scumble your brush around where you're making these little squiggles, you don't want to go overboard, but just kind of make these little scumbly. So it looks like it's there we go. All right, so the next thing that we are ready to do is our third layer on our flowers. So remember that really bright, it's almost like a fluorescent orange that I'm using. It's an acrylic. I'm going to dip in there, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put some little marks, some little touches here and there. We don't want to completely cover everything up, but we're going to just kind of tap in. So we're making these little kind of parenthesis marks, so to speak. And we're going to add that highlight. So kind of use your judgment, see what looks good to you. It just gives it one more little layer. It kind of gives it that little pop that it needs, huh? Thanks, Derek. Derek, you're usually over on YouTube. I'm surprised to see you on Facebook. All right. So the only thing that's left to do now, you guys, is little fun details. So if you notice on this, now we're going to have to probably let the flowers dry a little smidgen. Let the flowers dry a little bit, but you can put little swirls in with black. See how I did these little, almost like a cinnamon roll has the swirls. You can put little swirls in the flowers if you want to. And I went in on the leaves and I added little dots, and I added a little pop of turquoise on the leaves. So I think I'll go ahead and do that because I really like that turquoise. It makes everything better in my mind. And it just takes it to a little more of a fun, playful, kind of a whimsical kind of thing. So I'm going to add just a little touch of that. Using, again, that same brush, just as an extra highlight. We're not totally covering the other stuff up. We're just adding little touches to it, right? And I am going to see if I can. Now, I do want to say, if you put the little swirls in with black, you're going to need a really thin brush for that. Let's see what I have. So if you don't have a thin brush, don't worry about it. But that's what I would do. Thank you, Michelle, sprinkling the love. So appreciate that. We're going to just do a little bit with the black. I don't want to overdo it because I don't want to mesh all the colors together. So don't forget, we'll have Frida's bouquet will be on Wednesday night, and it'll be a matching. Casey, hi, how are you? You're okay. You can watch the replay and do this, Casey. That's okay. I'm just glad you're here. So I'm going to just, sound effects work too. And you don't have to add the black. It kind of just makes it a little more on the whimsical side when you do the black. But it's up to you. And then again, I added polka dots using the back of my brush, and I dipped it in white, and I used little dots on the leaves just here and there. So that's, you can kind of think about if you want that or not. These are just little extra touches that you can do. Now, something extra that you could do if you want to keep playing is you could always add, some polka dots or something to her background. And you want it to be probably like something soft, like white, or probably not another color, but that would just be fun. And then you can add some little scumbles with the white in her sleeve, little scribbles. But I thought this would be just a fun way to kind of show you guys how I teach the Splatter-N-Chatter and how I break things down. And all that good stuff. And like I said, we're going to have a matching Frida's bouquet will be Wednesday night. And that's all she wrote, guys. This is a close-up. So you can kind of see how all the layers on the flowers really help give it a little pop, right? Is there anything that I can help you with tonight? Do you feel like kind of understood how we got started? Was there anything that you need help with? Anything at all? Again, the Creators Club is open now. Today's our opening day. I'm excited about it. I love seeing the new members come in and getting to know the new people. You're going to love all the ladies in there. They are so supportive. And not only that, they're helpful. They're so helpful. If you ask a question and I'm not in there, because I do have a local store, so like if I'm busy here and I don't get into the group until later, a lot of times they already have answered the question. I mean, they are just so loving and helpful. They cheer everybody on. Tasha says, you already helped me with flowers. Yes, girl. See, that's what it's about, is getting a win under your belt, because until you have confidence, because Tasha, she knows she can make flowers now. She knows it because she just did it. So now she's proud of herself. She's confident now. And so that is what the Splatter-N-Chatters are about. They are about teaching you step by step, because that's what you need to do when you're learning techniques. At first, you need to be able to watch and learn and kind of imitate somebody, and that's what these are created for. And then from there, I move you into different techniques with the intuitive art, where you get to like play and you get to have an adventure and you get to be like, ooh, I really like this part. Ooh, this part so much, that's not my thing. This is where you're on adventures and you're finding out what you love, what works for you and your soul, and what maybe doesn't, and you're kind of editing out what you want to keep and what you want to not do. And that's where you're finding your own voice with art. And it's been such a joy to watch all of you ladies that are in the group. I can almost now at the point see them post a picture, and without knowing the name of whose picture it is, I know the identity of their paint techniques now, that like, oh, that's so-and-so's and this is so, like I can visually like know their style now. It's been so awesome. Tasha says, that was more than a win for me. Girl, I was in tears, but I'm good now. Thank you. You were in tears tonight? Oh no. I hope not tonight. I hope you made it. Did you think that they weren't going to turn out? Is that why? Because you have to remember, yes, you learn all at your own pace, which is wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. That is so true. Sharon says, now I'm going to have to dig out my brushes and paint. You go at a slower pace. I love that about you. Good. Because sometimes I don't know if I'm going too fast or, I just never know. So, all right, everybody. So hopefully I will see some of you inside the Creators Club. It's a beautiful, great place, safe place to be, to learn. So I always tell people, if you have the passion for art, I can teach you, okay? Because I have a lot of people that are like, I would love to paint because, but I don't feel like I can. I just don't. But if you have that passion for it, I can teach you the stuff to get you started. So, and you'll be amazed at what you can do. Yes, simple brush strokes. Tasha says, no, last week I was in tears and I didn't understand the layering or letting it dry in between. Yeah. And you don't always have to let it dry, but for the Splatter-N-Chatter class, it's easy for beginners to let it dry. As you start to grow in your technique and you learn how to blend colors as you're layering, it'll fall into place for you. Okay. Yay! Yes, Sharon. She goes, yay, thank you. I love fun people. Yes. All right. It looks like we've answered everything. You guys feel free to inbox me if you have any other questions. If you go onto my website, growupcycledstudio.com, I know Michelle's been dropping the link, and that's actually running at the bottom of the screen. If you go to the Creators Club page, there is a rundown of everything that you get when you're inside there. There are so many classes that are evergreen from when I first started the group. So there are tons of classes to go through. And just reach out to me if you have any questions, okay? Thank you guys so much. So mark your reminders for Wednesday. I'm going to set a different day. Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We will be doing, here it is, Frida's Bouquet. We'll be doing Frida's Bouquet. So come paint with us again this week on Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. And you'll have a matching set for your home. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys Wednesday. All right? Thanks. Bye-bye.